These signs that show the high water mark in 72 are all throughout Knoebel's groves near Ellisburg. But Ron Knoebel really doesn't need signs to remind him of the water. He remembers the devastation from the Agnes flood like it was yesterday.
Both creeks came up. This one came up and, let's say, bled water down this direction, and that one overran its banks down that direction.
The two creeks that add serenity and beauty to Knoebel's groves are the same creeks that raged out of control in June of 1972. The fierce current of the water rocked buildings off their foundations, and the mud wrecked most of the rides.
The erosion was just dramatic, as there was water everywhere in the park, anywhere from a foot to 9 or 10 feet deep, and the water moved through very fast.
What did you think when you walked into the park the next day and saw it like this?
At one point later on, I cried just to see it all.
If anything is symbolic of Knoebel's, it is the carousel that dates back to 1913. This music box-type organ is priceless, so you can imagine how difficult it was to see this covered with water, especially the folding paper music that feeds the organ.
This was all underwater during the flood. Some of it was lost totally, but other sections of it were recovered and dried out, re-glued back together so that it could be used and play the music of the carousels again.
Ron Knoebel remembers how someone painstakingly poked mud out of the holes in the sheet music so it could be used again. Knoebel also remembers with emotion what happened right after the water receded. Plumbers, electricians, and grounds crews worked night and day to repair the park.
Our employees came back and they wanted to get started at repairing it, but the people in the community came back and said, this is our park too, and we want to help. We come here, we picnic here, we bring our families here, our children have grown up here, and we don't want to lose this part of our lives. And people came out and volunteered and helped to clean up and recover from the flood.
In just 9 days, the park was open for business again. All the rides were fixed except for one. 20 years later, you'd never know Agnes was so destructive here. But look closely the next time you pass the Playland building. This tree actually stopped the building after it came off its foundation from the strong current of water. The tree in the roof is a reminder of Agnes, but it's the tremendous response from the community that the Knoebel family will remember forever. The park used a limerick to advertise its reopening after the flood. It went like this: Knoebel's groves had a great flood. Knoebel's groves sat in the mud. All the park workers and all the park friends put the groves back together again. Marisa Burke, Newswatch 16, Northumberland County.